burner. I am fired up my Japa 405 and I started running a log and it's not oiling. So I came around back and let me show you what I found. I got an obstruction in my oil line, so my oil line isn't feeding. I don't know if I got ice in there. Doesn't water go to the bottom of oil, or maybe I got some kind of a chunk of something in there. So here's the bottom of the oil tank. You can see it's all ice here, guys. That stinks. This sat for about a week and a half through the holidays. I didn't run it any, but now I got a big ice dam at the bottom. We got some really cold weather that's come in, and I got to figure out a way to break this open. Maybe I can take the hose off the bottom and shove a stick up through there and try to break it loose. We'll try that. Okay guys, I've pulled the line off the bottom and obviously nothing's coming out. I got my Allen key here. I'm going to shove it up in and I can get the ice piece to fly up, and then here comes the oil. So I think I've done it, but is that oil gonna come back and obstruct the hole? We'll see. We'll give it a shot. It's coming out. So let's put this line back on and we'll see if that works. I am priming it now, guys, and it is working. So you can, I don't know, I can see the air bubbles coming through. It's pumping. And here's the saw motor, and here you can see the air working out of the line right where my finger is. And here the oil's working through, and it's coming out the block, the plate. So we are primed and we're ready to get back into action. I keep saying this, guys. I know I'm from Ohio, but since this machine's been delivered to me, I don't know, winter, we haven't had any winter. It never snowed at all last year. We had a couple cold days, but you know, I didn't really run this when it was super cold out. Today it is freezing. The ground's frozen like a rock. My ears are kind of numb right now. But you know, here we go. Now I know I need to pay attention to this. Just got like a little chunk of ice had settled in here and I just got it out of the way. So let's get back to work and we'll start making some firewood. I have a number of smaller logs coming up, guys, so I went ahead and took the perfect split out, and I've got the 4-way knife in right now, and it'll give you guys something different to look at. And I still prefer to use the perfect split. Honestly, if I weren't filming these, I would probably just leave it in, but I like to show some variety. Some of you have seen in a previous video about, you know, the engine was shaking. So the engine is fine. The engine's running fine. And what it was is a motor mount problem. I had to snug one down, but I was talking with Metsa Machines, and since this machine was put together, they're using a different kind of a motor mount on them. So they're sending me those motor mounts to get put onto this, but I can't do it right now. Just the weather, and I'll wait for a good break in the weather. We'll swap them out, and I'll make sure to show that on a video. But one thing I've always said about this, it is a cold-hearted machine. It takes a while for the hydraulics to loosen up, and that saw motor comes down real slow until it gets loosened up. So you're going to see this cutting pretty slow until the hydraulics get warm, and then it'll be right up to its regular speed. Sometimes things don't go to plan. When I loaded the live deck, I got too many up on by the separator, and I just fed 3 logs at the same time. It's like it's a new year and I forgot how to operate this machine. I'm gonna feed this log, but I got this one's riding right next to it. I got it hooked on the guard. So if I can get this to clear that, then I'll be in good shape. Using the 4-way, I can adjust this, but what I look for is when I'm too big on top and too small on the bottom. That means I can raise the 4-way to balance so that I can balance out my splits. So whenever you're using the traditional knives, you're always chasing the height of the log. That's different from the perfect split because that doesn't matter. So now I got a problem with this. I got to figure out how I'm going to clear this. So I think this run shows, you know, just sometimes things don't work 100% perfect. We had to fix the oiler. I had some trouble with the logs on the live deck. And then the crooked logs, you know, they come through that four-way and they're off center. You got to line them up, or they split too big. You know, like this would have never come off the perfect split. So this is, I won't resplit this, but it's getting close. You know, remember, my customers are restaurants and they don't like big wood like this. But even on a bad day, running a processor, to me, it sure beats a good day running a saw. You know, when you get in your 50s, I don't know, that back starts to feel a little weird, and it's just not the way it used to be. I still think if you are looking for a firewood processor, I think it does help that you have some mechanical aptitude. It might, you know, if you have a past as a mechanic, you're good with wrenches, you're good with seeing problems and coming up with creative solutions. Because, I mean, we ask a lot of these machines and they can break, and you can break them. You know, it'd be just like when I buy my first Maserati. If I drive it up over the curb, is that the dealer's fault, you know? There's operator error involved in these. Yes, they're tough, and you know, you would expect them not to break, but they can. In this case here, the 405, it's a world-class machine. I still prefer the perfect split. I had a number of those skinny logs, and the reason I felt comfortable changing out the four-way here is I have a bunch of oak that's coming up, and that restaurant I have that burns through a lot likes it bigger. So I'm going to leave the traditional knives in here and split that up, because the perfect split's just a little bit too small for it. But the bar, it oiled nicely. It's still tight. You can tell it's been oiling because it's, you know, got that dark oily look to it. We're good there. And there you go, guys. World-class firewood processor, the Japa 405. Great machine. I hope you like this. Happy New Year, everyone. Have a great day.